All right, everybody. Yet another watch review, another Seiko. I'll probably have some more in my future. I've been wearing this one all day, and it's definitely nice to look at. It's a very nice watch. I do wish it was a little bigger, but hey, that's what she says. So what are we going to look at this time? This time is going to be another Seiko, and it's going to be the model SRPD51. So it's their Model 5 Sport. So that seems to be one of their most popular entry level. People get into Seikos. That's one of the go-to. Like, get yourself a Seiko 5. So that's what I did. And I got this one first. Well, this one just came in first. So let's go ahead and see what this one looks like. This one is on a bracelet, so I will have to get out my little toolkit and adjust that. Comes on the little pillow. There's a card and warranty stuff and things around here somewhere. So let's go ahead and take off this and check it out. This one is an automatic movement. It is stainless steel. It is 42 millimeters, 22 mil lugs, 24 joules, power reserve. And this one's 40 hours, 41 hours approximately. So that's pretty good, I think, compared to other ones that I've seen. Seems good to me. What do I know? Let's go ahead and take off all of this stuff. And it comes off, and let's see. What do we think? Let's see. Stamped. You know, I know some people like the milled, you know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's nicer, but I'm not as picky about that stuff. Maybe I should be. I don't know. I'm just like, to me it looks like a nice watch. So I will absolutely have to adjust this because this thing is huge. Luckily I got the little tools and pins and stuff to pop out some links. Does it feel like there's a little cover? Yeah, there's a little on the back. All right, so 42 mils. It has the day and month. Dial's nice. I don't know how many clicks it is. Does it line up exactly right? Yeah, pretty close. A lot better than my Pagani does. All right, so we have got apparently some more plastic sticking in there. So to finish getting off all those little pieces. Let's see. So what do we got? We've got date, day of the week, no chronograph. This uses the 4R36, 41-hour power reserve, 24 joules, just stop secondhand function, day date display, water resistant to 10 bars, so 100 meters. Weight is 170 grams, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. We'll take a little bit off when we remove probably 3 or 4 of these lugs here, not lugs, links. It's got 4 slots for micro adjust, so that's good. I don't think, does it have, it almost looks like it's going to have some adjustment here on the end. No? Okay, I was looking at that. Some of them have like a little fold out, or you can extend. This one has it. My Tissot has it. So I was like, oh, maybe there's something there. And I guess that's just the way it attaches to the end. You know, I'm not a good judge of bands. I mean, it feels okay. It doesn't feel maybe as nice as the Citizen, but this watch was also half the price of my ProMaster Dive. It is a little bit smaller, but 42 is, for me, that's the minimum. I prefer 44, but 42 is getting there. So I got this because I wanted another Seiko, and I wanted a kind of utilitarian dive watch, dive style. This only has 100 meters, so I don't know that you could really classify it as a dive watch. It is absolutely a dive style, but to me, it's going to be more of a sport watch. Doesn't have a chronograph like that one does. This is going to be more basic, kind of like the Duo, although to be honest, 200 meters, 200 meters. Even the Invicta is rated for 200 meters. Whether it'll do that or not, we don't know. The Pagani is 100. So, but I would include that as a dive style watch. So the original, the actual Tag Aqua Racer, I would say, is a dive watch, as is the actual Submariner from Rolex that this is homaging, copying, borrowing, ripping off from, however you want to look at it. This is classified as a dive style watch. Very basic, but it's also got 200-meter water resistance. This is the Casio Duo. It's $50. And that is a watch that on multiple occasions Bill Gates has been seen wearing. A guy that could buy probably any one of these companies. He's got the money. Multi-billionaire. And he was wearing a Casio. Yeah. So let's see. How does it fit? Let's see if we can figure out how many links we're going to take off. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to absolutely pop off some links. I think I had to take 4 off of that. I'm guessing I'm going to need to take off 2 per side, and then I'll be able to use the micro adjust. With 4 and with them spaced fairly apart, decently apart, I feel like what I will do is move that in and then take the measurements. So I don't want to take off too many, but I'm guessing if that's at the full extension, we'll need to take, let's see, 4. But I'm going to move that in because I don't want it to be too tight. I need to be able to loosen it. Right now it's at the loosest position. So I may start, we're going to move it in to the middle position so I can fine tune it up or down before I start removing any links. But wanted to go over the watch. The back, it is an automatic. You can see the movement. Looks nice. Got the little window there. Although, when you're doing, when you have a bracelet on, it's not as easy to show the movement as, well, none of these. Oh, this one has open back, right? I think it does. Yeah. When you got a regular watch strap on it, then it does make it a little bit easier to see that. So for here, it's kind of a limited appeal. You kind of have to look at it at an angle. But, it's a Seiko. This should be a good watch. It's a good quality. It's not a screw-down crown. I kind of wish that it was. That would probably be able to then up it to 200 meters of water resistance. But for, hey, splash in the pool, normal day-to-day stuff I'm riding, I think it'll be just fine. I really love the Citizen, but this is a $430 watch, and it's Eco Drive, and it's a little bigger, and it's a chronograph, and it's got screw-down crowns on everything, and, it's definitely a step up. Now, Seiko absolutely has watches that are, the equivalent of that, if not better. But this one, I think, I like that style. I like having a bracelet on these type of watches, although the Duo came, with the rubber strap, probably to help keep the cost down. But I think that'll make a nice watch that'll be, I wear this, but I don't wear it as much because it gets scratched. You're on the desk, you're typing, and you're like, well, how can a table scratch, steel? And it's not the table, it's dust. A lot of dust is sand and has silica in it, which is abrasive. So you're sitting here typing and doing stuff, and you drag your arm across the desk, and then you're like, oh man, as much as I try not to, you get a bunch of these scratches on that high gloss finish. Now I know that that's gonna, hey, that's character, it looks like you actually wear the watch. That's true, but I don't want my nice watch looking all scuzzy. So I was like, you know what? I wanted a Seiko. I did want another mechanical, and that was the other thing. I wanted another mechanical watch, one that I would probably wear a little bit more often than I wear the Pagani. The Pagani is very nice. I actually do wear this a good bit. It is an Aqua Racer homage, but part of me, as I'm learning more about the watches, I'm like, do I want to keep, I think it's nice to have because I'm just not going to spend $3,000 or whatever an Aqua Racer costs these days. I just don't feel like spending that at this time. But it's a nice watch to wear. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm wearing an homage, I'm wearing a copy, and it's a Chinese copy, and it's a $120 watch, and who knows how water resistant it really is. It is Seiko guts, but, going with the Vares, the Casios, Tissot, Citizen, Seiko now, I feel like these are good, well-respected brand names that even watch snobs won't turn their nose up at something. They'll go, yeah, it's less expensive, it's entry level, but at the same time, they're not going to have anything negative to say about a Seiko. They're going to say that's a great entry level watch to get into the world of watch collecting. So yeah, I'm going to go down and size that. The movement is nice. I have another Citizen that has it's a bit bigger and it doesn't have the dial or the crown, the what do you call it? Well, that's the dial. And that's the crown. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I've had a long day. But in any case, your clicky thing here, it's not. It doesn't have that, but it does. I kind of like that again. That sort of retro look, where it's off to the side, and it just, I don't know. To me, it just looks kind of cool to have it down there. I think it definitely makes it look more 70s. There's something about the 70s era watches. For some reason, they just appeal to me. I look at some of those and I'm like, you know what? Those are really good looking watches. I like older watches and I like modern watches too, but there's something about some of those late 60s, early 70s designs, like the moon watches and stuff. And I'm like, to me, it's almost like that, from my perspective, it's like the golden age of watches to me. Now, that could be a completely ignorant statement because I've been into watches for all of 3 months. I am by no means an expert. I'm not even barely a novice. I am still learning. As you saw, I forgot the damn name for the damn dial. But I do love the way Seiko does a really good job of polishing and putting the case together. Like, those are beautiful lines, beautiful mirror polish, nice brush on the top. It clicks nice. I did notice that the days of the week, I think, are in French and English. Or they're in another language. I'll have to look at the manual and see what it is. So when you're setting the date, it clicks, it alternates between whatever the other language is and English. So it's just when you pull it out and you set it, there's a couple extra steps to consider. But this is one, of the automatics, I will probably wear this more than this. Even though in some ways, I think the Pagani is a prettier watch. I like it that it's bigger. It's really well done. I don't know over time. This one uses an NH35 or something movement. So it's a Seiko movement. I just don't know how long this is going to last. If it's really as waterproof. It does have a screw down crown, which is good, which the Seiko doesn't. So maybe this one is water resistant to 100 meters. Maybe it would hold up. Maybe I'll test it one day and just see if I went to the bottom of the pool with it for a while, would it take any water in? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But that is the Seiko. The next one I'll probably get next week, will be the Orient. And that one's like, I think, a 42.5 millimeters. So it's just a little bit bigger, just a little bit. But it's got a red dial. It's really gorgeous. It's a beautiful watch. It has their own in-house manual automatic movement. Really well done. It's only a couple bucks cheaper. This, I think I paid $230 on Amazon. I'll put a link up there. But it's really nice. I like the blue. It's not as iridescent blue. It's a little bit of a deeper blue, but I think in the sunlight, it's going to pop like that. If you're old enough and you remember that blue, like that Noxzema skin cream, it was like this deep, if you think of like a deep emerald green, imagine a blue of that. Imagine that type of hue, but in a blue. I think this in a bright light is really going to pop. We'll do a quick lume check, although the room is bright, so it's probably not going to show up as well. I'll have to cut my hands here. Oh, wow, okay. Actually, it's pretty bright now. How long will the Seiko hold it? I've heard Seiko lume is pretty damn good. So we'll see. I don't wear my watches at night. It's not that big of a deal. My iPhone is sitting on a cradle, on a maglock cradle, MagSafe, whatever, sideways, so it goes into alarm clock mode. So I just glance over in the dark and I can see what time it is. But it does, it's a nice lume. I don't know if it'll last 10 hours, but it does look pretty good. If I were to do the Citizen, I say the Citizen's cool because it's got different colors. Your markers are blue, and the dial there, the turn dial, is is green, same as the hands. So it's kind of cool to have the two-tone there, but I think that's really good. So I'm going to go resize this thing. One of these days, I'm going to go through my entire collection, and we're going to go through in one video, talk about, there's my initial impressions, and then there's my longer term impressions. Which watches am I actually still using? Which ones have I given away? Which are the ones that still kind of speak to me? Sometimes you see a watch, you're like, oh, it looks really cool. And then you get it and you're like, it's small, it's this. And you tend to not wear it much. And then there's certain watches that I just have. I just have this. I've only worn it twice. But it's a great little watch. It's $50. It'll run forever. Change the battery every 2 or 3 years. And if this thing will run for 20 years, this will be a decent watch. It's a good beater watch. If someone needs a watch, oh, my watch broke. Well, dude, here you go. Here's $50. It's a $50 watch. Don't even pay me. Whatever. I think it's good to have those kinds of things. And then I've got my nicer watches, and some are more dressy for work. Others, like my G-Shocks, if I am going to go hunting, or I go jet skiing with John or something like that. Well, that's the watch I'm going to grab. It's like having different guns or different knives. Your Swiss Army knife's good for some things, but your fixed blade or your hatchet or your switchblade or whatever, each knife has things that it's better at. There is no one knife that's perfect for everything. And it's the same way with watches. Some watches you can kind of get away with wearing it for dress or casual. But then there's other times where you're like, you know what? I might not want something this flashy. I might not want something that's going to get scratched up. I might want the plastic one. I might want one that can really take a beating and get caked in mud. And I'm not worried about it because mud is full of grit and would scratch the shit out of all of these surfaces. This is Hardlex crystal, by the way, not sapphire. So, getting mud on this, and then if you try to wipe the mud off, you will scuff the living hell out of this watch. I do it on my G-Shock, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. Maybe not on the lens as much, but if I had to wipe mud off the buttons off the side, it's made for that. It's a mud man. I mean, it's made for, getting slop on it and stuff. So different different watches for different purposes, but this is really cool. So I'm going to go get this sized for myself, and I'm going to wear that this evening. I wore this all day. I took a shower with it, so it's starting to kind of take a set to my wrist. It's really nice. I mean, that's a beautiful watch too. So those are the two new Seikos. This one's a little more funky and sport and fashion casual, but it's got a nice stopwatch on it using the Mecha Quartz. Really nice watch. $180 for $230. I think I paid for this. You got a proper Seiko dive style. The only thing I'm feeling kind of about is not having the screw down crown and not having the 200 meter water resistance. This looks like a dive watch. This is a dive watch. This is a dive style watch. That's the difference. This is also bigger, heavier, and like I said, $200 more. So you can get that kind of stuff. Seiko has, other watches that you can get. But for that entry level, this is considered their 5 Sport. So while it keeps that style, they don't really even market it as a dive watch. They call this a sport watch. And I'm fine with that. For most of us, I don't go scuba diving. And if I was, again, I would probably grab the G-Shock because those things I know are underrated. I've seen those 200 meter tests where they go to like 340 meters and they don't take on water until then. Like the G-Shocks are really over-engineered. But when you want something that looks nice on your wrist that's in semi-casual, I mean, maybe it'd be a little overdressy if you're just wearing a t-shirt or a wife beater or something, but you could definitely pull this off for casual, and it's certainly nice enough for the office, or if you were going to be wearing a suit. I don't think nice dive watches like this with bracelets look out of place. This is definitely fancier, but I think you could pull it off either way. So there you go. Another Seiko adding to the list. I'm definitely a fan. There will be more Seikos in my collection. So we'll see you guys later.